Alright guys, TouchGripper here back again today, and yesterday was probably one of the biggest days in esports history, let alone Call of Duty history. A lot of big announcements, COD related, but especially the thing that's in the title, the thing that's in everybody's mind, Hector Hex Rodriguez finally leaving OpTic Gaming, something that he never thought he'd ever say, something that I never thought I'd ever say, and the same with a lot of fans in this community, especially if you've been around a while. But as the situation has transpired with the Immortals buyout and everything that's happened over the last, year, 18 months or so, it's led to this point, him leaving OpTic Gaming. But of course, it's Hector, it's the man with the plan. He had something organised behind the scenes. He has joined NRG as their co-CEO. As this has big implications for everything going on in esports, especially surrounding NRG. I believe, their CSGO team, Tarek and Stanislaw, he's worked with before on OpTic Gaming. And of course, the big news is that NRG, especially for Call of Duty related, NRG own the Chicago Call of Duty spot, definitely backing up a lot of these rumors that Scump and Formal will be reuniting under that team. So that's what we're going to be going through today. Hope you guys enjoy the video. I think I've just hit 14,000 subscribers when this video going live. Thank you so much for that. I've been looking at the analytics the last month or so. It's been insane, but still about 50% of the people watching the videos haven't yet subscribed. So if that's one of you, if you have just subscribed or you've been around ages, thank you so much. It wouldn't be the same without you, of course, but if you aren't yet subscribed, I'd greatly appreciate it. So you get up to date with everything that's going on. And of course, when the season begins, there'll be a lot more varied content rather than just news and rumors, more analysis stuff. Hopefully things you guys will enjoy. But yeah, let's hop right into it here. Like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always. These are the Rostermania rumour updates as of yesterday. There may be some that come out after I make this video live, or at least after I record it, but unfortunately that just is how it is with the scheduling. So this is the Chicago rumour if you guys aren't yet aware. Scump, Formal, Gunless, Arcetes and Envoy is the rumour. Now, apparently if you check their tweets a few days ago, you can see when the original Seattle roster that was rumoured to involve, I'm pretty sure it was meant to involve Arcetes and Envoy, has likely got cancelled. So the second thing on the list here, the Los Angeles OpTic, this is the rumour. TJ, Dashi, Slasher, and Kenny. Not 100% sure on the fifth. This is honestly insane stuff because Los Angeles OpTic are bearing a lot of the brunt right now. OpTic Gaming, the Twitter account, is losing followers like mad as a result of Hector leaving, and of course all this stuff that we'll go into in a couple of minutes time. Now, it's not really Immortals' fault, everything that's happened here with OpTic Gaming, largely related to Infinite Esports, the previous management, and all the debacle that happened really there. Immortals are trying to put together the pieces. But as it turns out, of course, they are going to bear a lot of the brunt of this because it's the former OpTic brand. Pretty much NRG has become the most popular Call of Duty team in Chicago overnight, which is insane to think because a lot of fans are going to follow Scump and they're going to follow Hex. OpTic fans, especially ones that follow the scene more closely. Looser OpTic fans may still be OpTic fans of Los Angeles, especially ones that are TJ and Dashi fans, if that's the rumor. But of course, TJ and Dashi aren't going to have the same fan base behind them that, Scump and Formal are, right? They're not going to carry as much weight. They've been on OpTic less amount of time. And a lot of fans who are OpTic fans will quite happily probably leave TJ and Dashi behind to go and follow Chicago, NRG, Scump, Formal, Hector, right? Now, of course, maybe in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, it'd be nice if they still did well. They're OpTic players. They've done great for us this season on the whole. But, of course, Los Angeles are bearing a lot of the brunt. Added into the fact you have Slasher and Kenny on the team, who are players that are undeniably incredibly talented from the 100 Thieves roster of last season, but are not exactly the community's favourite players, right? They're kind of villains to some degree. People don't really like them, right? On the whole, like their overall positive negative is probably less than some of the players. So this is not going to be a team that people are going to get along with too well, which really creates some spicy rivalries because it could be absolutely filthy. Like, this is a disgusting team on paper, to be honest. And the Los Angeles OpTic Chicago rivalry is something to definitely keep your eyes on if this does indeed happen, because, like, these could go back and forth the entire year. Who knows? It could be some mad storylines. So Seattle, still rumored to be Slacked, Octane, and Enable. Apparently, Karma and Apathy could even be there. John is uncertain. So it seems like Octane got screwed over a bit with Arcetes and Envoy leaving to join Chicago. We'll see how Octane ends up Minnesota, Silly, Assault, and GodRx aches and decimate players of interest. They're kind of players from that old Envy team last season, joined by GodRx. So, you know, maybe on a boots on the ground, a slower boots on the ground title, that could be a recipe for success. Let's go through some other rumours then. Dallas, Crimsix, Clayster, Hook, Illy, and Shotzi. Apparently this is pretty damn likely that Illy, Shotzi, and Hook, apparently those three kind of want to play together. Whether Dallas will give them a shot straight onto the starting lineup seems pretty risky to me, but I guess if you've got a guy like Clayster and a guy like Crimsix there, that could work, and you know, maybe this has changed. Of course, all rumours, guys, make sure to keep that in mind. Mork, Skies, Frosty, +2, but not sure who. Maybe Pristini is left, but also they apparently all played the beta with John, so Mork, Skies, Frosty, John, which could kind of work if you think about the roles. Maybe that will work decently, especially if you got a Pristini in there, maybe throw an Apathy on or something. It depends how exactly that goes. New York, Accuracy, Attach, Zuma, Zero, and Temp apparently is the rumour now, which is something I hadn't heard before. Maybe I'll talk about that in more detail tomorrow, depending on what happens today. Atlanta, still the old rumoured team we're talking about. London, Scraps, and Dylan. Not sure what else is happening there. Not too much about the other ones. And then franchises, someone let me know it's staying at 12 teams. So we'll have to see how it goes towards the future. So all of this stuff in the books. This was the announcement we got yesterday. Joint statement from Immortals Gaming Club and Hector Rodriguez. This came out at 8 PM yesterday, my time at the very least. Since completing its acquisition of Infinite Esports and Entertainment, so the people that bought OpTic Gaming, Immortals Gaming Club bought them out, and Hector Rodriguez have held extensive and amicable conversations about the future of OpTic and Rodriguez's role within the organisation. Ultimately, Rodriguez declined the opportunity to remain in his current role with OpTic and instead chose to pursue new and independent ventures. Of course, you know, Hex does some statements here, and Hex has always been ahead of the curve and a leader in our industry for a long time. We wish him continued success and excited to see what he does next. Both parties look forward to the Call of Duty Franchise League and continuing to grow and strengthen esports for the best players and fans in the world. Interesting to see this, saying that both parties look forward to the COD Franchise League, implying that Hector might have some involvement. And guess what announcement we get just a couple of hours later? Before we get into that, though, we had this announcement from London COD announcing Joe as head coach. Really interesting because he's been a player for a long time. There was no real indication he was going to retire. He did say in a tweet later to this saying that, you know, he was thinking about retiring during the Black Ops 4 season and he got this opportunity, came along. So he's going to be the head coach. Shane, I think, is going to be like strategic coach, and then Dominate being assistant coach, something like that. So they've got a coaching lineup kitted right out. And Joe coming in the team, maybe that means that Rated, which we'll look at in a second, he says he signed a contract. Maybe that's where he's going. But let's get into the big stuff, what you guys are all here for. It's official. Please welcome our new co-CEO, so co-chief executive officer, Hector Hex Rodriguez. And I will leave this linked down below, the video, him putting on the NRG jersey, or the hoodie at least. And comes out with a classic like Vision music. You know, Hex knows how to do announcements. He knows how to end a video. He kind of did like 7 minutes of kind of fluff, talking back and forth, saying how, you know, he's really enjoyed the engagement with the community, how at the end of videos or at the end of a time of doing XYZ, you can make something really exciting and something that people want to stick around for. And that's exactly what he does here at the end of this video. So bit of foreshadowing in the earlier parts of the video if you guys weren't aware of it. So really crazy stuff. Him joining as CEO of NRG. It's a massive move, and this really shakes so many things up. It must be said, first of all, that, of course, him being the co-CEO almost guarantees, I would say, that Scump especially, because if you're in Hector's position and you want to try and, you know, build a new brand, or at least expand on a new brand, as you have done with OpTic Gaming, and try and do it again with another organization, the one Call of Duty player you want to follow is Scump. No questions asked, right? He's the guy you want to follow, and, you know, probably the other way around. Like, Scump wants to follow Hex because he knows that that's going to get the most content engagement and all the things that Hex brings alongside him and all the experience he has. Back with Formal as well, there's so many content opportunities here for NRG. Overnight, like within a few hours, they became by far the most followed Call of Duty team. So Chicago COD right here already has if it'll load 32,000 followers, I think it overtook, and that's within, they set up this account like yesterday or something. It's honestly mind-blowing what kind of growth this has had. And as I say, like immediately overnight, NRG and Chicago are the most followed team in the league, and will be the team with the most fans, will be the team that people are cheering for at events. I think Hitch came up with a hashtag, or maybe it wasn't him, but I think I saw him tweet it first, hashtag NR Green Wall, so NRG, but incorporating Green Wall into that. So I don't know whether that's a thing that NRG will pivot towards, because that's going to be a big part of their identity, especially in Call of Duty, is going to be bringing all of these OpTic fans over to be fans of NRG now. And what exactly is going to happen with the Reddit and all the behind the scenes stuff is going to be interesting. Whether it will become fully NRG, in the future, who knows? OpTic Gaming as a brand is pretty much going to cease to exist outside of, well, in Call of Duty, it's going to be the Los Angeles OpTic or whatever, but it's not going to be the same OpTic it was before, of course, with Hector gone. So much to discuss here. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this down below. Definitely makes a lot of sense to me that the Chicago team is going to be following Hector to NRG. What exactly will happen in the future? What will happen at events when we get Chicago versus Los Angeles, if that old OpTic roster is there? It's just crazy stuff. And to see Hex in a position like this where he's going to be co-CEO, building a new brand, or at least building a brand from what the situation is right now. So many content opportunities, of course. Scump and Formal back on a team together potentially. The CSGO guys are a lot of fun as well. Tarek was in some content before, and he's on NRG now on the CS team. So much potential here, and hopefully we'll start to see some of that old, kind of family vibe content that came out of OpTic a couple of years ago that kind of died when Infinite took over. Hopefully we'll start to see some of that come back, and maybe it'll be a great opportunity for other organizations to follow suit, because in the past OpTic has domineered the fan base, and it's kind of difficult for other organizations. Like, think about what Reciprocity did this season. So much great content, but they didn't really gather the following that they kind of deserved, right? They did an unbelievable amount of good content. I'd really recommend you check it out on their YouTube channel, but it's very difficult to break into a market when you've got an incumbent like OpTic who's going to soak up all the new fans that are interested in that particular esport, right? And to some degree that's going to be the same with NRG, but there's going to be some OpTic fans that are kind of more casual that probably stick with OpTic Gaming, and there's going to be fans of different cities other than Chicago that might not be a Chicago fan necessarily if they're unsure whether they want to follow the team or like the players or whatever, which may give other teams the chance to really, step up and match Hector's game here with what he introduces on the content side. So exciting times for COD, and just an unbelievably huge announcement. And H3CZ is the following: COD Dallas versus Chicago, COD E-Clasico. That was another crazy matchup. Imagine that, Dallas versus Chicago, Envy versus OpTic, effectively, if you wanted to say that. So yeah, and as this individual says, I'm an Envy fan and a Chicago native. What the hell do I do? And yeah, Chicago COD just saying 32,000 followers already. Couple of things to mention before we end the video here. Then Illy changed his bio, taking E United out, maybe implying he's going to be going to this Dallas team. Rated says the following: it's official, contract signed. And to finish it off then, Spacely says the COD Friendship League, implying that, as Daryl says here, players are choosing a lot of upper management and resource roles, which makes absolutely no sense to me, but maybe we can expound on that in coming days. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new as always. Greatly appreciate to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thanks for 14,000 subscribers again, assuming I've hit it by now. Like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new as always. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.